Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suranjali Seal, and like I always say, if you are somebody that loves literature and is all about literature, then this is the channel for you. In our video today, I'm going to share my favorite Agatha Christie books that I have read so far and loved. I have read only a few of her books, not really all of them, but they are quite a handful, and amongst them I have a few that I really liked and I enjoyed, and I want to share them with you without of course giving away the plot. So let's get right into it. So I really enjoy the detective and the crime and detective fiction genre. I think detective fiction has always had my attention. I used to read Sherlock Holmes and even Feluda by Satyajit Ray. I used to read the Feluda series also, and even Sherlock Holmes, the series also. And then it's like I started branching out, and then I read Agatha Christie and I actually fell in love with her. I kept buying her books more and more and reading more and more. I felt like she could weave the story easily. It's not that complex and it actually keeps you turning the page. So I really enjoy Agatha Christie. She's one of my favorite writers now within the genre. So I really like Agatha Christie, and over the years and over the past year also, I've read these books. I have read Murder on the Orient Express. I've read the ABC Murders. I've read Halloween Party by Agatha Christie and The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. And last but not the least, I've also read And Then There Were None. So these are the books that I have read. I also have one in my TBR list, which is Hercule Poirot's Christmas. Yeah, this is the one that's there in my TBR, which I haven't read, so I'm yet to read it. So I'll read that later, but these are the books that I've read and I would want to talk about them. So the first one that I would want to talk about is, of course, Murder on the Orient Express. It's the most celebrated one. I've watched the movie also. So in Murder of the Orient Express, the whole sequence takes place on a train, and everybody on the train is a suspect. So it also has this element of travel, like they're traveling from one place to another. So the fact that the murder takes place on the train, there's nothing static. Everybody is on the go. All the characters are on the go, and there's this sense of imprisonment also. There's this sense of no way out, because the suspect is on a train that is constantly moving, and this train is of course closed right on one side, so you cannot even jump out of the train. So everyone is staying with the murderer within the train, and it is pretty uneasy. So with the murderer on the train, so it is pretty uneasy, and towards the end when everything unfolds, that also keeps you on edge. I like Murder on the Orient Express because it is very unconventional. Towards the end, the culmination and the result, and when you find out who the criminal is or who the murderer is, then you'll get to know that it's very unconventional. It's not the kind of ending, or it's not the kind of scene that you would expect. So Murder on the Orient Express is very interesting. If you watch the movie also, I've watched it, the adaptation also is really good, and even the movie will keep you on edge. So I read the book first and then I watched the movie. So this is Murder on the Orient Express. So the second book that I want to talk about is Agatha Christie's Halloween Party. So the Halloween Party is the book that I read last Halloween, 2023. I bought the book around that time, so I read it then, and I enjoyed it because I was already in the October feel and autumn feels and Halloween feels. So I really liked I enjoyed the book when I read it then. So the Halloween Party actually is it covers the death of a child who has supposedly drowned. Okay, but there are more secrets to it. Children play an important role here. You'll see that the clues to the important clues are given by the child, or a child itself, and there is this talk about cults. There's this talk about, it's Halloween Party. If you take the Halloween theme, so there's a lot of sacrifice, ritualistic sacrifice, and sacrifices and cults that are involved here. It's quite bizarre if you ask me, but then it's structured well, the Halloween Party. So it's like it's a Halloween party for children really, and one child is murdered, and that's how you actually solve the mystery. So Agatha Christie writes about that. Here again you have Gothic feels also, because there's a mansion or a manor that they talk about. There are gardens and secret ways and secrets and whispers and untold stories. They also deal with important issues as far as crime is concerned, when it whether it's regards to women or children in general. So there is a lot of social commentary also, where the characters actually talk about crimes that happen in the world against children, against women. So the society's frailties, the society's darker sides, everything Agatha Christie actually voices out through this novel. So she does it so subtly and so bluntly that she, when you're talking, you say it as if it doesn't matter. You just talk in a serious way, so that impacts you. You keep thinking that, how can you talk like that? How can you be so casual about it? This is such a grave thing. So, she puts lines so bluntly and so directly at the readers that it makes us think, and that's the genius of Agatha Christie. So she deals with all of these nuances, she deals with all of these frailties of the societies, the weaknesses of the society, and she does it flawlessly in the Halloween party. And of course, you'll get the Halloween feel, you'll get the autumn feel, you'll get the Gothic vibes, you'll get the feel of, like, the countryside, and you literally feel like it's Halloween-ish. I don't know how to explain it that way, but there's this okay, I'll just give you an overview. It's like secrecy, it's like mystery, it's like things happening within alleys and doorways. You'll see a mansion, okay, this mansion also, the owner is no more, and then you have overgrown garden spaces, and you have secrets that the townspeople also know and keep. Okay, so these kind of things are there. It suits the vibe of Halloween, and it suits the theme and the titular name also, Halloween party. Okay, it centers around the Halloween party where murder takes place, so it's apt in that sense. So this is Agatha Christie's Halloween party. If you're interested, you can read it too. So this is a comparatively shorter novel, so I'm not going to give away too much. I will just give this in short. If I say too much about this novel, so it'll just give way to the plot, so I don't want to do that. This is a plot that centers around truth, around friendship, around honesty. It has to do with familial ties, it has to do with the family. So it also has to do with distrust issues and karma. So it screams karma. Towards the end, when the murderer is figured out, then Hercule Poirot, the one who's the detective, the one who actually is investigating the whole case, serves the due, gives the due, punishment to the person concerned. And you have this concept of an unreliable narrator also. I mean, this person is narrating the whole story, so there are holes in it. There are some, knots in it that you need to untie as you keep reading the pages, and the pages will unfold the truth to you. And towards the end, it's karma that works its way around, and it comes a full circle, the entire story towards the end. So you will like it because of that, because here it's Hercule Poirot who actually serves the right punishment, and the person had it coming all throughout the novel. You'll read it even through the narrator also. You'll come to know about this person's character. So this is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. It's one of those novels that took me by surprise, and pleasantly so. So if you are starting out with Agatha Christie books, make sure you read The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. And the second one that I would really suggest for you to read is the one that I'm going to talk about now, and that is The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie. Now, the book that I'm going to talk about now is a must-read. If you're starting out with Agatha Christie, this is a must-read book. It is my favorite of the ones that I've read so far, and it is The ABC Murders. So it's the Hercule Poirot meets his the challenger. He's almost challenged here. There are letters that are directed directly at him, anonymous ones with initials ABC, and they come to him and they challenge him. And this is that one novel where even I felt perplexed, because there were too many loose ends. You cannot even guess who the murderer is amongst the people you know. And there are too many people he investigates. Every time that he keeps repeating to himself that, okay, this is what I feel the novel is about, it just turns the other way around. There are no connection, loose ends, nothing leads to anything, and it's completely confusing and perplexing. And that's how you want to keep turning the page, because you want to know who the murderer is. And this is the first letter. Okay, I'm just reading it out. Mr. Hercule Poirot, You fancy yourself, don't you, at solving mysteries that are too difficult for our poor, thick-headed British police? Let us see, Mr. Clever Poirot, just how clever you can be. Perhaps you'll find this nut too hard to crack. Look out for Andover on the 21st of the month. Yours, etc., ABC. So, he's saying look out for Andover on the 21st. That is, he's saying that the next target is going to be on this day. This is the place that a murder is going to take place, and see you there. So it's like the murderer is challenging the detective right away that I'm going to see you there. So if you can catch me, catch me if you can. So this is the thing about ABC murders, and literally I'm telling you that when you'll be reading this book, there are too many loose ends even for the readers. It's so perplexing that it's impossible to actually figure out who the murderer is, and I was completely taken up by this book. And towards the end, when the murderer is revealed, I was shocked. I did not expect it at all, and it was kind of cathartic for me to actually really come to know what happens at the end, the culmination of it all. So it is a must read. It is a challenge for the detective, and not only for him but also for us readers as well when you'll be reading this book. So the ABC Murders, a classic Hercule Poirot mystery, and this is by the world's favorite Agatha Christie. Now after this, I'm going to recommend the last book which I have read, and that is And Then There Were None. So in And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, it's actually a story of 7 guests, who are invited to a manor house. And it's like an unseen host. The host is there, but you don't meet the host throughout the novel, so you don't know who the host is. So it's we know that it's a host. There is a host in the house, and there's always this thing that the host will join you, but you don't meet the host. You never meet him. You don't even know if he's going to come there, is he there or not. But you have the host, and you have these 7 guests, and there's 1 secretary and 2 staffs, that work there. So what happens is they come to stay in this manor. It's a huge manor they stay, and it's on a remote island. So they are on a remote island. Island that is surrounded by sea. It's a manor. They're staying there, and all of these 7 guests start getting killed off one by one. So they started getting killed one by one like that, and that is the murders take place, and then you kind of try to figure out who the murderer is. All of them, the remaining ones, try to figure out who the murderer can be. So that's what it surrounds. It does not feature Hercule Poirot here, because in all the others that I mentioned, Hercule Poirot is the detective, but here it's the 7 guests that try to actually figure out who the murderer is. Now the thing is, like I said, that this also screams Gothic, and I'm talking about Gothic elements here because we've already discussed Gothic fiction in one of my other videos, so I think that it'll be very familiar to you now. So Gothic fiction talks about this fear and uncertainty. This again surrounds this book. There are also manor houses and sense of detachment from the modern world. So they're on an island, and it's surrounded by sea, so that makes you feel like you're actually detached from the rest of the world, right? So that kind of feeling, the no way out kind of feeling, that they're stuck there on the island. So this is the the whole plot, and I'm not even going to give you spoilers regarding this, but it does feature Gothic. It's a dark setting. It's not so fresh and bright, and it is kind of chilling because that they are stuck there, sort of. So this is what And Then There Were None is about, and there have been movie adaptations also. I watched only one, but I think there are 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, movie adaptations also, so you can watch them. I watched the very recent one actually, so that was also good. And there's one other book which I haven't read, but I watched the movie, and it's by Agatha Christie only, Death on the Nile. I have been wanting to read the book, but Death on the Nile is the movie that I watched. It's based on Agatha Christie's book titled The Death on the Nile, and that too, I watched the very recent one. I think Gal Gadot is the one who features there, so it's a very interesting book, and again, it has this sense of isolation. It has to do with marriage, and it has to do with treacherous acts. It has to do with affairs and backstabbing. So all of that is there. So I haven't read the book really yet. So I really don't know what what the book has to offer. But The Death on the Nile is also another book that is widely celebrated of Agatha Christie's, and there's movies also made on it. So this is all that I have to say for this video. I think that this is Agatha Christie's books, and I wanted to talk about them without giving away the plot. So hence this is a comparatively very shorter video compared to my other ones. So I want to actually refer to the books in order for you. So these are my Agatha Christie books that I have ranked in order of my liking, and I think that these are the ones that you would also enjoy. So the first, of course, number one, we have the ABC Murders. At number 2, we have The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. At number 3, we have Murder on the Orient Express. At number 4, we have And Then There Were None. At number 5, we have The Halloween Party. And of course, at number 6, we have Death on the Nile. And I've only kept number 6, I've only kept the Death on the Nile at number 6. It's because I haven't read it yet. So once I read it, I'll get back to all of you again. So this is it for this video. I have tried to wrap up Agatha Christie's books that I have liked so far as fast as possible. So if you think these are the books that you're interested, then please do give them a read. If you have liked the video so far, and if you've been enjoying all the videos that I have been uploading, then kindly consider subscribing to my channel for similar content. Like the video and share the video if you have enjoyed the video so far. And till we meet again, I hope that you stay healthy and happy. See you in the next one.